I'm going to get the YouTuber started up there. All right, here we go. YouTubers, what's going on? I expect a red candle to kick the day off and then going into some green. So far, that's holding true for now. Looking at particular, I'm going to start digging into I got to get off my futures account. I made a bunch of futures trades this morning. All right, got a green candle. There it is. Initial red, followed by some healthy green action here. Looking at right here, I'm going to be scalping up to the R1, which is 441.77. And I've got 44.20. Let's go 44.30 SPX contracts pulled up on January 26th. We'll see if we can get that rolling. All right. Let me come down here. Let me get this going. Booyah. Booyah. And then booyah. All right, all right. Hey, what's up, Nomad Trader? How's it going? Calls at the open. Yep, that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. A little red right there, still shaking and baking. Everything is bright green except for XLV at the moment. VIX is down back under 30 after popping up over 30 in pre-market, so it's a good sign that we're getting a little that the VIX is coming off just slightly. Closing overnight SPX triangle for 12%. Nice, W Dog. A lot of nice wins there for W Dog. All right, there is the initial red. Let's see if we can get a good bounce off of S1 here. I'm not going to be looking at puts just yet for today. I think the sentiment is going to remain bullish, so I'm going to be focusing on calls and see if we can get a bounce up to R1. Yeah, you always got to watch out for the initial red. That initial red is one that can poke you in the face. Coming down to S1. And open it up dang it, I did it again, 44.30s, not on futures, on SPX. Just bear with me while I get this situated. There we go. All right, bottom wick right on S1. I do anticipate S1 providing a little bit of support here going into the morning. It's been holding all pre-market, not to mention it was yesterday's rejection point. There's going to be a big pivot area right here at S1. So that's why if I have any indication that this will be the bottom for at least the range for now, I'll be taking calls. I'm going to be cautious, but look, watch now. Green candle right on top of S1. Can I stream JPOW meeting? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. You all know me. I like playing the JPOW movements. Right after. I don't like playing before, but I like playing after. So we will stream that together and see if we can figure out some trades with that volatility. I definitely recommend don't hold any 0 DTE spreads going into FOMC because with this volatility, 100-point moves are easy. If we take out 44.60 and try to go to 4,500, obviously that's a 100-point move, and you could smoke your 0 DTE spreads. So just be aware of that. All right, so we have some little red action here, just under S1, just under. I got 44.30 calls pulled up, ready to go. Let's see. I'm going to bring up the try screen here. I want to take a look at my VIX at the bottom. Actually, I need to do something there. Bam. Come down here and there. VIX on the bottom curling up after bouncing off this big pivot, 28.44 up here. NASDAQ rejecting that top. And then, of course, we're up here, SPY holding on S1. No position just yet. And looking to see how we react after the initial red coming up on S1. Hey, what's up, Caleb? You're very welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Why are there more levels of SR today? I'm aware or make conditions prove state. Yeah, only the past 2 days I only did far out SR levels. That is because the yesterday and the day before was a little bit more unpredictable than what we've been seeing. The sentiment's a little bit different today. So after 2 very large bounces here, I think I don't know. We'll see. I just elected to go ahead. And if you actually notice the SR levels, they're not, anywhere from 60 points to a dollar away. They are quite spread out. So my range goes all the way from 441 to 448, which is a $7 range. So I wanted to incorporate those levels upwards until the upper 440s, as well also down to the lower 430s. So I just spread them out a little bit. The SR levels back yesterday worked very well. They were just 1 and 2. Here's the initial red candles. This is that little profit taking for the morning. This is what we. It's not uncommon that we see this red candles out of the gate on a big bullish gap up here. People are just taking positions off the table. Not to mention they have to take risk off the table for FOMC. All right, little green action right there. See, we got that initial red. And now we've got a green. How do we have a follow-on with this green? Let's see. Do we get a follow-on green, or does it get wiped out? Once I have confirmation, if we are getting a bounce here, once I have confirmation, I'll look at taking calls. Then, of course, if we flip down and start to get a lot of bullish or bearish action, we'll flip the thesis. But right now, my thesis is bullish above. Probably test at least pre-market highs. What's up, Rob? How's everybody doing? How about everybody doing? All right, just getting things going here. Let's look at the watch list while we're waiting. All right, there's a big green candle. Stand by. Ba-ba. All right, there's that. All right, we've got this green. Now I've got calls up ready to go. I've got the 4430s up and ready to go, so we can start pop in here. Top wick is not good. Let's see if we can enter a position here if we get some follow through. Still hovering around S1. January 26th. NASDAQ still got a little top wick here. There it is. Booyah. All right, this top wick is still a little iffy. I don't know if this is just a relief bounce or we need or it's going to actually have a bull bounce because we need that follow through. Sellers are still present. I want to let the sellers release before I look at going long. Look, NASDAQ just flipped red. So I want the sellers to release so we can actually get some upward mobility here. But we'll see how we turn around here. All right, so taking a look at XLF here. XLF is bouncing green here. So NASDAQ's a little bit heavier than the NASDAQ. So, I'm sorry, the future. The SPY is a little bit more bullish than the futures at the moment, the NASDAQ futures. So there's a couple of the X's that are bouncing a little bit more than tech. And we'll just see if we can get a little action here. There's a lot of buying volume going into Microsoft. We saw that Microsoft tanked hard and then pre-market, and then once the market opened back up after settlement, it absolutely raged over to back to 300. So it went from like 270s up and then over 300. I think 301 is what it touched, give or take. So a lot of volume came in and out of Microsoft in a very short period of time, and I'm sure people held positions in today. So people are offloading, adjusting, and closing out positions and maneuvering money with this big action. That's why you're seeing this big level of volatility from 44.15, 43.93, and back, trying to settle here through S1. I got SPY on top. Let me put my watermarks on right there. Another top wick candle, so the buyers aren't stepping in just yet. What makes you decide between SPX and SPY? 99% of the time, I'm trading SPX. The tax implications are way better. Not to mention, just like the SPX for me, the biggest thing is for taxes. The only time I'll usually choose to go with SPY is if the options volume is not really there to sustain liquidity. I want to be able to trade liquidity. I want to be able to get in and out of a position not only quickly, but with the bid and asks that I want. If the spread's too large, the liquidity is not there, I'm not going to be able to get the fills that I want, so I'll go with SPY. I have no problem doing that. As long as I'm trading SPX majority of the time, I have no problem trading SPY when it needs to be done. SPX is traded with 60-40 tax implications, 60% long-term, 40% short-term, whereas SPY is all short-term no matter how long you hold it. So that's why I'm always trading SPX. As long as you can maintain proper position sizes, I would recommend you trade SPX. All right, here's a little. Now we're testing S1 again. We have a decent candle forming here. Volume is dropping off, but we still have a lot of top wicks here. Still have a lot of top wicks. Let's see, the conversion I think is 13.9. I believe the conversion is. So 44.30. Let's take a look here. I would probably go with on SPY. I would go with, if you're looking at these contracts, 442s. Go with 442s. However, unless I get some bullish action on the Nasdaq here, I'm not too crazy about calls just yet. There's a lot of top wicks here. This thing is stair-stepping. I need bullish action to come into Nasdaq, and then we'll throw down some calls. Still red on Nasdaq, falling now new lows, and then all these wicks keep getting top wicked right there, big time. VIX is on the uptrend, 29.44. Look at that, new lows, Nasdaq, down, down. That's a good way to read price action right there. Notice that you see the top wicks. This is why I'm so heavily dependent on volume and price action, which is why the past two or 3 days have been so difficult for scalpers, because you keep getting immediate reversals. But you see these top wicks, bam, bam, bam. You see the volume on the seller's volume come down here, and the buyer's volume try to tick up there, but not a lot. So we didn't get a lot of follow through. We keep getting top wicks. So the candle would expand, contract, expand, contract, and now we have all these wicks, this indecisive wicks. And then the Nasdaq, same thing. And now we get those wicks that are wicking lower and lower. So I need to see buyers step in to defend, and then we'll take a look at taking some calls at the top. Until then, I'm just being neutral. I'm just watching the charts here. And if we get a breakdown, we'll flip over to puts, and we'll ride this baby down. Big red candle on the Nasdaq. Look at that. And flushing. You're welcome, Danny. You're welcome. Bottom wicks would show buyer strength. Yes, because it's going to bottom wick that up, especially if you get a nice healthy hammer candle under sustained buying volume. Then yes, I would be looking at taking a call to the upside, which we're not getting. We're getting precisely the opposite. These top wicks, and then Nasdaq is absolutely getting destroyed right now. Let's take a look at the other X's here to figure out what other strength or weakness we're seeing. XLK downwards. XLV is green slightly. Y is down. That's probably because Tesla is down as well. Yep, look at that. Tesla's getting smoked. XLF green and climbing. That's why there's a little bit more strength in SPY than we saw in Nasdaq, because these other X sectors that are not in tech are supporting the market a little bit. XLP is green, so I'd expect to see some green up here. A lot of red here. Apple, Microsoft, Google. Tesla's red here. Maybe get a little bit of a green bounce there. Finally got another green candle in SPY. Maybe we'll get a bounce here. We'll see. That's the candle I want to see there without a top wick. I'd love to see some buyers volume start to support. All right, taking out the 8 EMA. More top wicks, though. I need to see some nice breadth here. Why do you switch from ES after hours to SPX during the day? Is it spreads and volume? Spreads, yes. Volume, yes, as well. I just like trading SPX. Not to mention, my father trading SPX as well. I trade both. I'm trading everything. So futures I hedge with. Plus, not to mention, futures give me the flexibility to trade during the night. If I could handle waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning every single day, or 1:45, which I have before, then I would trade them at the European Open. Nice big green candles here, by the way. Boom. All right, I am testing some calls here on the 4430s. Let's see how far we can get up here. It could be a reversal here, but I think with that breadth of a candle, I think we'll be good to go to ride at least a little bit of this momentum. I'll let y'all know when I exit. I'm still in this position for 40.36 and climbing. That's what I'm looking for. Nice big green candle. Let's see if we can test maybe session highs or even hollow at the top, but we'll see. We'll see. Alrighty. What narrative from J Powell would bring the market even lower? If he maintains his aggressive or even expands his aggressive stance, it would go lower. But I don't see him doing that. I think if anything, he's going to placate markets. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to make any guesses. That's why I'm not going to be holding any trades into FOMC. If I were to hold, and I don't want you to form a bias on this, but if I were to hold a position, it would be a very small bullish position into FOMC. Very small, just because if I did lose it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I would be holding that just so I can see if that can work. I'm in calls right now. I'm still holding calls. I'll let you know when I'm exit. I figured you'd rather me hear this than try to go over and type out the play and delay everything here. So, yeah. There we are. All right, some nice strong green candle, nice 440.35. Let's see if we can test highs. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So you see how we don't have that top wick. These are top wicks. Buyers finally stepped in, increasing buying volume. A nice breadth on this candle, taking out prior highs, and off we go. This is exactly what I'm looking for. All right. All right, taking a first exit here at 30. That's a first half exit there at 30. I'm maintaining half this position after 30 on the 4430s. And still going. Still going. Man, look at that big green candle. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on. All right. I'm in at 20, 25.80. Got a first half there at 30, and now we're climbing up to 32.90. Let's see if we can take out highs and go even farther. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 441.27. How many contracts do it take? I don't talk about I don't talk about the sizes. I will give you ratios. This was about I don't know, 5%, 6%. I'd have to do an actual calculation. But normally, I'm taking anywhere between 5 and 10 contracts. I don't play big. I don't. I've set my system up where I can take. My win rate is good enough. I'm confident enough in my system where any losses I take, I can absorb through my win rate. So I take things small, anywhere from 5 to 10 contracts, sometimes 3, sometimes 11 outliers, but normally it falls in that range. And it works out pretty well. And I want to encourage you all to do the same. Take smaller position sizes over the course of a long time and watch how you stop getting blown up, you stop getting smoked on any kind of losses, and you start building a nice equity curve that curves upwards instead of looking like a heart monitor. You don't want to, like, what is that, the QR the QST complex or the QRST complex, whatever that's called. You don't want it shaking all over the place. You want nice, steady, not huge peaks and valleys, upward trending. So, alrighty then. What's up, Dennis? I'm glad you like it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Have you ever thought about taking 1 to 2 trades a day, bigger trades? This way you're not exposed to markets. No, nuh-uh. Because you know why? Bigger trades, I assume you mean like maybe like a 20 to 10 to 20% position. The reason why I don't want to take bigger positions is because I've tested this method. Eventually, I'm going to have a big loss. Eventually, it happens to everybody. I don't want to get smoked. Like I don't want any one position to ruin my day. My family life is too important to me to have my emotions wrecked. Not to mention my family, my financial, my balance is too important to me to have it wrecked. So I trust my system enough, my win rate enough, where I can trade multiple times, smaller position sizes, and over the course of 12 months, my equity curve always goes up, always. Even in the midst of crazy market volatility like we had in the past 3 days, I still have not had a red day yet because I'm taking small positions and I'm in and out quickly, and I know how to test my system with price action and volume. So, not to mention, we have Veteran, who is an absolute gem to have in the room. So, by the way, we have some green candles still climbing. Sorry, I'm talking here. So, 441.55 still climbing. I've got 34.85 on this position. NASDAQ still has not made up its losses, although SPY has. That's because XLF, without even looking at it, XLF is climbing up here. See that right there? XLF is through the top. So that's why I know the X sectors are supporting SPY, whereas NASDAQ is not. If you saw that, that was XLF went right through the top. So SPY coming up to the top now, testing S1 again. I'm probably going to exit the position at S1 just in case you get a rejection here, and I'll re-enter in the event that we still climb. Although I want to watch NASDAQ. You know what? I'll hang on to it for now. Because NASDAQ's climbing up. If we get a little Momo with the NASDAQ, yeah, R1, sorry, not S1, it'll bring it up. So still holding this position. First exit was at 30. Currently sitting at 35.15. Haven't posted in the room yet because I want to maintain this position. I don't want to waste time typing. But here we go. Right through the top of R1, 441, now 442 and climbing. I got $37 on this position. My position just went in the money. I love it. I love it. What's the best time frame for day trading? I do 3-minute, I do 5-minute, I do 15-minute, I do 60-minute. 60 minutes for trend. So I would switch over to the 60-minute right now, but this is a momentum play. And with NASDAQ approaching the top of the AM range, I want to make sure that I get in a trade, or at least exit the trade. So let's see here. I've got $38 now, or $37.90. It's switching a little bit. Oh, still climbing up here. Let's go. Still climbing up. Watch the NASDAQ. Now that XLF is still climbing, I'm watching right here. You can even, without even seeing the chart, I can see this number right here. It's still green. As long as that number stays green, that's telling me that it's still being bought. It's still climbing. So that's why I've got financial sector. Now I've got NASDAQ climbing up here, which is commensurate for this nice, healthy green action up through R1. I've got 37.85. I'm going to go ahead and put an order in for 39. Let's see if I can get it filled. Not quite getting there. I got a little top wick red. All right, let's move it down. Let's see here. I'm going to put on 38. See, I can get 38. Bam. All right, just took 38 off the table. If just because I don't want to see if we get a red action here. I will pop back in if we continue on up here, but I'm out all of it at 38. All right, trade number one, at least for SPX. I've done a number of futures today, but there's the first position for SPX. We got in at 28. We got in at 25.80. First exit at 30. The next exit at 38. So a nice little gain there. Do I target any specific data? What do you mean? Or delta, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm targeting anywhere between 0.31 to 0.32 up to 0.4, 0.41 on deltas. Anywhere in that range. Sometimes tighter, sometimes a little further out, but that's usually what I'm targeting. It's been a fantastic day, man. Fantastic day. A little bit of early fitness, 0500 fitness coming up. Now we come in, do some trades on the futures, talk with y'all. Had to make the kids breakfast this morning, so that was fun, doing some scalping on the futures while making breakfast. That should be an Olympic event. How much money can you make while making an egg sandwich? What kind of trader would the 1 second time frame be used for? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Maybe the guys that are scalping pennies on stocks, but I would have no use for the 1 second time frame at all. I don't even see the point of it. All right, 100% cash, no longer positions. No, I'm currently no one in any other additional positions right now. I'm gonna go ahead and type this right up here. Patreoners. Let's see here. I need to go to history. There we go. All right. So we've got R1 being tested right now. That's why I exited my position, because we were testing R1. I will re-enter if it went on up, but I wanted to take my money off the table so I can be safe, remain safe. What do the yellow lines represent on SPY? The yellow lines are veterans' morning session ranges, which, by the way, will be exclusive to the new Patreon Tier 4 coming out on February. So that's just one of his proprietary tools that sets the morning range, the the high and low price of the from open until 10:05 Eastern. Do you know why I get SPA price action about 30 seconds before CNBC and Bloomberg rings the bell? I can always buy an option in those 30 seconds. Did anyone else get this? Differences in brokers. I think a long call on Apple is a good opportunity. I think Apple is a fantastic, depending on how long you're discussing, Apple is a very awesome forward investment. It's one of my main holdings. It's actually, I think, number 3 in size in my long-term holding account. And that's just stocks, not options here. Amazon being my primary. Boeing, I think, has taken the place as my second because of the amount of cash I've thrown into Boeing, and then Apple is number 3. This is bull trap day. Oh, man. That's a strong word. I wouldn't call it a bull trap, although... to your point, I don't see us going on a crazy bull rally. However, I mean, it depends what you mean by bull trap. I don't disagree with you that we will see further selling, but in terms of we'll see when it actually occurs. Do I mostly trade in the mornings? Yes and no. Sometimes I only trade in the mornings. Sometimes I don't trade in the mornings, and sometimes I it's spread out throughout the day. What was the reasoning behind that play? If you're watching the YouTube stream, this candle right here, that big engulfing candle, not to mention if you saw my Twitter post this morning, I was anticipating initial selling action, which is what we usually get after very big green pre-market. Initial selling action followed by a bullish reversal. And I posted that before the market opened. And I kind of went with that thesis the first time I saw an engulfing candle, primarily on the NASDAQ. I entered the call somewhere right here. I'll have to get the actual timestamp, and then we came on up and sold it at R1. S1 was going to be somewhere where I was going to throw down a call, and we kind of went a little bit below S1, and I just waited for a bounce. How many years have I been doing this? This will be my 11th year. 11. By the way, I've been watching Better Call Saul. That's a good show. I was a big Breaking Bad fan, so watching Better Call Saul was pretty neat to see the background of all the characters. Why the 4430 contracts when the 4425 has way more volume, or even the 4450s? Where all three of them, all those contracts still have a lot of volume. When I choose a contract, I base them on a few different things. I base it on. I wasn't even born 11 years ago. What? Yeah, see, little wicks here. So I want to base it on delta, which was commensurate with my holding. 2, I want to look at a position that could theoretically go in the money relatively soon, especially now that I'm doing 0 DTE contracts today. I've been testing 0 DTEs the past few weeks. I want a contract that has a relatively good chance of going ITM in the money, just so I don't face decay all that much. Because especially the last hour or two of the day, you're going to get big time decay. By the way, LRS going on here off the ADMA. So I want a position that's going to get a good chance of going in the money, so if we get a reversal, it doesn't decay too much. I'm staying away from credit spreads before it. Yeah, I'm not touching. If you noticed, I closed out all of the credit spreads yesterday, which were fantastic. I think are 70-75% win. I'm not touching credit spreads before FOMC. I'm just not doing it. I've been doing very well with these scalps in this amount of volatility. There's plenty of opportunity to make decent cash as long as you can be very patient on your entry points with this amount of volatility. It's insane volatility. So I'm doing very well with it. I'm not even going to test it with spreads. After FOMC tomorrow, I'll look at tranching some additional positions into Friday. But right now, I'm just playing long positions. How did you go about learning all this? Did you read a lot of books? Yes, I was a big reader. I was a big bookworm. Big bookworm. Hey, watch NASDAQ testing the top of their range here, which, by the way, sets in 4 minutes, the 10:05 explosive time. We'll see what happens. Do we really have an 11-year-old in the server, by the way? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Or was that a joke? What's DT mean? What do you mean? Where do you see DT? Yeah, I don't want any swearing. Yeah, I know some people don't like that rule, but yeah, I don't like swearing in the server. I'm trying to keep this professional. Will the super options tier still have vet session ranges? I will leave vet. I'll say this: the intention here is to utilize veteran in an appropriate manner. I think we've all gotten a lot of value out of veteran being free, his information being free, which is an absolute privilege. So it's the objective here is to form something that's forms a bond, a trust bond with veteran. So that's the whole point of tier 4. So I'll leave it at that. I'm from Boston. Oh yeah, trust me, my family is all northern. Although I've been in the South since I was 4, so all my family's northern. I completely understand the profanity. Not to mention, I'm a military pilot. It's pretty much F words are pretty much the comma in my career field. Any plays today? Yep, I've got a couple of futures plays, and I just took one SPX call up to R1, which is still climbing. Is there a restriction you put on yourself related to the maximum number of trades? No. However, I've done this long enough. I trust myself not to force trades. If I see opportunity, I will trade into. I took 20 trades the other day. I will trade into the sun. But I know when I'm over trading. If I start to see stupid losses come into play, hold on a second. I see some green action here. If I start to see stupid trades come into play, I know I'm over trading and I'll shut it down. But that's my maturity as a trader, and that's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. All right, now I'm looking at 4460 contracts currently trading for $26, $25.95. Are you the chopper operator? No, I'm not a chopper operator. Never flown a chopper. I have mad respect for dudes that fly helos. Auto rotation is the only thing saving you. And even then, I don't even understand the physics of how that works. I'm trying to imagine OM cursing over the channel while flying. Yeah, can't curse on the radios. What happens if you sell a call, but you don't have the funds to sell the 100 shares if it gets assigned? That is right there. That is exactly why I am trading SPX. I want cash settlement. So I definitely recommend extreme caution because the big misconception about spread or short positions is that you can only be assigned if the position goes in the money, or you can only be like during the trading day. So the truth is you can be assigned at any time, and that's the problem. And I would hate for you to get a huge margin call that you cannot cover because you get assigned. You have to deal with all that. Getting assigned is not all that bad. It's not no big deal as long as you have the means to cover the position. That's it, or the know-how for that matter. What's your average number of contracts? Average? If I mean I don't know. If I had to ballpark, I don't know, 8, 10. Right rudder, right rudder. Yeah, that's on takeoff. When you're applying full power on a Cessna, you got to do right rudder. Alrighty. What's your plan now? Will you buy calls at any point? Right now, I'm letting this thing shake out of here at R1. So I'm not going to force another trade. If I see an opportunity presents itself, heck, if we reject and come all the way back down to the bottom of the range, I'll play puts to the bottom. But yeah, so I'm just letting things roll, letting things roll. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? Yeah, so somebody asked me yesterday about Palantir, PLTR. Y'all know that I'm a big believer in the future of Palantir before WSB got their hands on it, their crummy little hands on it, and strung it out. But I do think Palantir, by the way, is a very awesome long-term position hold. I think I'm about ready to start entering positions. Someone asked me about that yesterday. I think yes, I think it's a good buy long-term. So I am looking at taking long-term positions. I don't mean calls. I mean shares. So all right, see, we're rejecting. Look, see, the Nasdaq was driving a lot of that movement because XLF, all the other X's were still very bullish. Now, and Nasdaq finally came along here, came up to the top. By the way, its morning range is set. Came up to the top of their range. Now we have a little rejection, which is why I closed up my calls right here at R1 on this candle. Yes, I could have got a little bit more out of them, but there you go. My RS levels, Brad, are posted in the OM analysis channel in the Discord. Do I think NFTs are the future? I don't know enough about them. They seem silly to me, but then again, I'm sure Bitcoin seemed silly to people in 2008. So who knows? Who knows? I don't have enough. I don't have enough insight onto NFTs to really think one way or the other. All right, let's see if we can get an LRS and go higher up to R2. What are the pros cons of trading futures? Trying to learn more. Oh man, well there's futures and future options. You've got leverage and you've got higher fees. Those are the cons. The pros is that you can manage the position throughout the night. So you can monitor any kind of condition that you can hedge appropriately on any kind of positions and get out in the middle of the night if prices move or if you get the profits you want. All right, red candles back down to R1. Do I have a paid subscription on Discord? I do have a Patreon. Yep, I had a Patreon following. You have 3 different tiers to choose from, soon to be 4 tiers to choose from starting February 1st. But I offer a lot of different stuff. It's not simply play calling. That's the thing that separates our Discord from a lot, is that it's not play calling. I interact. I try to teach as much as possible. We go over everything from my setups to trades to future setups to any kind of strategy, thoughts. We're an educational Discord. I don't put up with a lot of funny business or a lot of the crap that you see around the internet. So I highly encourage you to check it out. Come over, check it out. The link to the Patreon and the Discord are both in the description of this video. And let us know. Let us know. Still waiting for a trade. No further trades just yet. 441.89 right here on R1. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. However, please note that it is the end of the month. It's January 26th. Patreon, I have no control over Patreon's billing methods. If you do sign up, you will be charged now and again on February 1st. That's a problem. So, I know it's a few days away, but consider waiting until February 1st so you do not get double charged. Let's see. NVIDIA is going nuts. Big, strong green action here. Everything else is pretty much following suit. A little bit of green action to start, and now got a little red here. NASDAQ got a little green. How much will Tier 4 be? Tier 4 will be $125. $25 more than Tier 3. Any update on my website? It's almost there. It's almost there. Been a heck of a learning curve doing the website, but it's almost there. How would it work when I upgrade to Tier 4 on February 1st? You don't have to cancel anything, so maintain your current subscription. Let that renew on February 1st, and then on February 1st, go in and update to the Tier 4. It'll charge you the difference of what you charge, or your original subscription, and then the Tier 4. It'll charge you just the difference. Man, look at that. Green candle got hosed. Big red candles off of the top, little top wick down here, and down we go, it looks like, at least to the VWAP. At least to VWAP. Tier 4 is not capped. It is not capped. What account is needed to trade futures? I think if I remember right, you need at least $1,000 to trade futures, and you have to be approved for a futures trading account. That's at least with E-Trade, if I remember right. What is included with Tier 4? Tier 4 will get you access to Veteran is one of our traders that's been in the Discord since April, I believe, when we first started. And he is almost going on a 40-year trader. So he's been in the markets. He's rubbed shoulders with some big dogs, guys with 9 zeros in their account. So he's a real deal. He's been providing his information for free, and so we've been working together. And it's time for him to make a decision about what he wants to do. And he chose to plant his flag with our community, which is amazing. It's amazing. So he will be hanging out with us starting Tier 4. You'll get access to him, all his information, his trades. I basically put a write-up of everything that you're looking at in the server announcements channel on the Discord. Could I show my current Fibonacci tool setup? Well, whenever I do here, I'll switch over to the 1 year. I'm not looking to make a trade just yet. I'll switch over to the single chart here and right here. So I do the Fib retracement tool here on TradingView, and I'll pull it from a bottom. I'll do this long term. This is not day trading stuff. I'll pull it from the long term just to kind of give me an indication of where the 50% retracement will be right there. But I only do that on the year charts, not on the daily charts. Big red action off of the top of the range, and down we go. Non-stop selling ever since the top. See that top wick there? Top wick got even bigger, and now bam, huge downside action here. Sellers picked up biggest selling candle of the day since the initial two, all the way down to VWAP. All the way down. Look at that. It's going to go all the way down to the range. Look at this. Booyah. Is it true that nearly 99% of traders lose money? I don't believe that. I've seen that stat all the time. I don't believe it. I think a lot of traders lose money because they don't know how to control their emotions, but I don't believe that, where 99% lose money. I mean, nobody would ever do it. It just, it's ridiculous. So. All right, coming down to VWAP. All right, so let's take a look around tech, the Big 10 here, the Big 8. A lot of selling action coming to the market here. Berkshire's still green, though, so let's see how we recoup. Little bottom wick, big buying volume there with a hammer. Let's see if that continues upwards. No additional trades just yet. Watching this. NASDAQ is still falling off of highs. Still falling. You said you never trade in the middle of the range, right? Most of the time, yes. That is my general rule. If I see a big opportunity, like an obvious trade, yeah, I'll take it. But most of the time, I ain't trading in the middle. We are currently at VWAP here with a couple of bottom wicks, so we'll see how this trade goes. But NASDAQ has led that sell. All of the top big dogs, tech stocks, have kind of rallied down. All right, still hanging out right here. Let's see if we can get some follow through. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. so amazingly calm while you're doing it. Yep. It's all about controlling them emotions. I'm sure my professional career has helped me trim up those some emotions there, staying calm in a very tumultuous situation. But everyone's got to do it. You got to be able to be calm in the face of big profits and big losses. So pretty tight chop right here. Buyer's attempting to maintain VWAP, but it's having some issues here. Now it's rejecting the 8, but we're right smack dab in the middle of the morning range. Consider not taking a trade here until we get some movement one way or the other. United States is urging all Americans in Ukraine to leave immediately. Hey, but hey, the situation's under control. Situation's under control. So they tell us. All right, big red off VWAP. Buyer still cannot defend. Still can't defend. The VIX is holding down here. Not a lot of movement here. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw this trickle on down to the bottom, but we'll see. Not really too crazy to get into other trades just yet. Do you believe that Ukraine stuff will affect the U.S. markets in any way? It depends on how intense things get. I think the big movements have kind of priced in the current situation. If Putin wants to push the envelope and make things kind of international, so to speak, I think yes, the markets will move the markets. Absolutely. All right, NASDAQ going for lows again, still rejecting the 8. And we looks like we're going to execute all the way down if this keeps up. Follow on red. No strength at all ever since that big bullish run up to the 9:05 time, 10:05 Eastern. Now straight selling since then. Now blasting all the way down, probably have an upside down V all the way to the bottom of the range, if not lower. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. What would make me flip to puts? We break down below the range, I'll flip to puts. But right here, I'm just going to let it do its thing. I've already have one big win. All the way down. Look at this. Look at this. Man, getting smoked. And that is what? Going on a $3.50. No. Yeah, $3.50 move on SPY. Just smoked all the way down. Volatility is still going to be out there, so yeah, don't expect much anything different than volatility today. That right there was almost a $4 move, so you can call that chop, I guess, but still volatile in my book. All right, testing the bottom here. Nice, healthy, upside down V recovery. Now look for a bounce off of the bottom of the range. I don't expect too much more selling after this. This is just kind of trickling down. I don't see any big engulfing downward action. Just coming on back down a little bit slower than we went up to the bottom of the range. Testing S1 again. What strikes am I looking at now? I am looking at, let's see here. It's a good question. It's a good question. I'm going to bring it on down to 44.20s look good. 44.20s. And I'll be looking at the 441s for SPY. All the way back down. Look at that. Just like clockwork. VIX coming up to a pivot. What would you choose between Bloomberg or... I'd get Bloomberg before anything else. Yeah, 441 calls, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying IBKRs, they're having some issues right now, so... Yep, so the computers are taking this down. You see these candles just nice and uniform down, 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 all the way down. And they're bringing it all the way back down to the session lows. VIX coming on back to 29, almost 230, 29.56. Zero strength, zero strength. So they turned they just flipped it and all the way back down right here. Could it rebound off the day's range? It could, yeah. We're just waiting for confirmation of that. I don't want to blindly do that. But this thing is straight selling action now. We got a few bottom wicks on the NASDAQ, same area as last time. NASDAQ getting a little strength, VIX has got a little red, and I'll be looking for confirmation to get some calls here off the bottom, if we get that confirmation. Nice, Eugene. 20% wins today. Well done. All right, there's a little green. Once we get a little confirmation, I'll throw in some calls if we get that. So I want to see a nice healthy candle that's not top wicked. I don't want to see immediate red. I want to see a nice buying volume coming in, which we're starting to get, and see if we can come on up. Still when you're taking a call in a reversal like this, the most sensitive part of that trade is that first few minutes where we could reverse and come down. So I really want strength to come back up. Still nothing but weakness ever since that 10:05 time. All right. All right, still holding the bottom. Not a lot going on at the moment. Just waiting for a move, waiting for the move. Why did I take the 10:05 reversal? I just didn't. Just didn't. I was looking at a lot of different stuff, and by the time I saw it, it was down here. So, or at least I expected all that to come down. This looks very weak, though. I will say we're not getting any kind of buyer's bounce whatsoever. When I need to see the bull step in here to rebound this to have any kind of hope of not going down lower, because when I see that initial green and then immediate sell-off and no bounce, that tells me that the buyers have stepped out and this turned into a seller's day. But so this is a key moment here. Is VIX going to keep on climbing, and or we're going to get the defense here that we need and come back up? Or if not, we'll play puts. Either way. Why are options prices so high today? Well, VIX is implied volatility is still high. I mean, yes, we had some crush there, but the VIX is still 29, almost 30, and implied volatility is still high. Premiums are still very expensive. Until that VIX starts to come off, it's going to maintain this way, and the volatility is still going to be crazy. The bottom wicks are helpful here because it's telling me that there's at least some buyers stepping in. But if we don't get any follow through, this will fall further. So the buyers do need to separate from the bottom of this range, or this will go down and potentially even start facing gap fill. So if you have long positions, you need to be very careful here, or at least set your stops in place, because until we get some upwards mobility, then you can kind of breathe a little easier. This is definitely not the market to get your hat hung on bulls or bears, because I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this. So, I mean, $10 move, $10 move, $10 move. It's just, there's no place for bias in this market because you'll get destroyed. So, keep things flowing, keep your head on a swivel, and stay safe. All right. Looks like there might be a bottom forming here. We'll see what happens. And flush out the bottom. Look at that. Boom. All right. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF came to the bottom as well, so it's pretty much the same action around the market here. Bonds are coming back off. The rates are 1.78. Have a little green there. So now we're just waiting for a move. That's all I'm doing. I'm being patient, waiting for a move. I don't want to anticipate anything, wait for confirmation. Not all that much going on at the moment. We just have to be safe. We have to be patient. Do wicks breaking the ranges tell you anything? Just mostly the body. It's the volume in addition to the wicks. So the wicks tell you, it's price action, it's telling you how the market, how the buyers and sellers are duking it out. If we start to have a lot of top wicks, that the candle starts getting lower and lower bodies, the sellers may step in and flush this into a gap fill. That's why I'm telling you, if you have long positions, you need to be setting your stops right now. If we come on down, this will get ugly, at least for a moment, to come down to the fill the gap. So just be careful. Just be careful. Once we get a little bounce here, if we get a bounce, then you can breathe easier. Would you say you try to predict price movement or react to it, trying to understand mindset? I mean, it's really a bit of both. Definitely, there is some it's reactionary or proactionary depending on the circumstance. But the longer you've been doing this, the more experience you have is to try to reduce the amount of time between observation and reaction. And that's the whole thing. You can try to do some predictions and try to put in a proactive trade, but the more proactive you are, the smaller the position you want to be. If I'm reactive and I see a very good move that goes in the area that I'm looking at, then we'll take a trade. But it's a little bit of both. Calls, whichever. If for example, if you're holding a long call right now, set a stop just in case this blows out the bottom, you don't get destroyed. The fact that the buyers aren't taking this up leads me to believe we will fall. The longer we stay at the bottom here, it's like sitting on a ledge. All it takes is a little bit of a stiff wind to push us right off the side. So the buyers need to step up and bring it up, or we go down. And at which point I'll take puts. Looking at 33.85 puts, or I'm sorry, 43.85 puts right now for the day. All right, here we go. Watch this. Watch the bottom. This is iffy. This is very sketch right here. Big engulfing red candle on the NASDAQ. I told y'all if they ain't coming down, this ain't going to bounce. New lows on NASDAQ. Can we push out the bottom? Hold on a second. I'm going to try to look at a position here as we're falling on some puts. 43.80s going down to 43.80 puts. And there's that big flush. Man, I missed a fill. I can't even get in. Dang it. All right. Missed that fill. Going back there. Modify. Okay. All right. Little top wick still. Coming on down. New lows on NASDAQ. Get your stops in if you've got calls. Just telling you. I need to come up here and put SPY. Where's my stuff? My line's shut off. All right, my indicator's not working, but let's see. All right, no play yet. Looking at puts. This is an iffy situation. No plays yet. Absolute zero strength here, so buyers have vacated the premises. Vacated the premises. This will get very dicey here. We're still hanging on to the bottom of this range. We're still hanging on right here. That's the thing. This is a $6 sell-off in SPY, and it feels like, you know, lame compared to what we've been having. That's just the ridiculousness of this market. But yeah, we're right now at a very hairy situation here where we could face another $10 sell-off if this drops even more. Think about that. So that's a very heavy market. All right, so a little bit of green, a little bit of green. Where we go from here? Can't get my SR levels to come back on. I might have to hand jam them in there, though, if we can't get them back on here in a few seconds. All right. I'm ready to take a play. Let's see if we can get some action here. Maybe we get a bounce back up to the top of the range. We'll see. Can't get 2 green candles in a row. Boring stuff. I'm going to give this 8 more minutes. If we don't get any more movement, I'm going to hop off here because this is some pretty boring action at the moment. Are you having trouble executing orders on IBKR? No, I've not. This thing is stuck right here at the bottom of the range. Yep, I'm gonna have back on for the Fed talk. So that starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. This is some pretty boring action. We are absolutely pinned to the bottom of the morning range. 438 on SPY, 14,350 on NASDAQ. Look for a move either way. A lot of people are anticipating a lot of a chop going into the FOMC. Probably a little bit of move. Maybe we'll come back in the range. Maybe we'll gap fill. Either way, we'll play it. I'll call whatever plays I see as best as I can. We'll have a little discussion in the Discord. If you want to check it out, come back, check out the Discord. Links are down in the description, as well as the Patreon if you want to sign up for that. Let me know if you got any questions, post them in the Discord, or shoot me a DM. I'll be back Friday morning for some YouTube, and then again we'll stream this afternoon for the Fed FOMC. So 2 o'clock Central or Eastern Time, 2:30 we'll probably start the broadcast, and we'll go from there. Thank y'all for hanging out. Let me know if you got questions. I'm out. See ya.